Thank you very much for joining me. How you been? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Back. Steve Renazizi. I'm the guy. I'm the guy. Fucking lit. I'm the guy. Steve Renazizi. Lit. I'm the guy. I'm the guy. Fucking lit. I'm the guy. Steve Renazizi. What's the odds? What's the odds? What's the odds? What's the odds? What's the odds?
Yo, what's up? It's What's the Odds, Steve Renazizi. It's the end of January. I think it's the 27th, right? We're getting down to it, man.
Yes, sir.
Holy shit. Well, it's not the greatest week for fans of the New York football teams. Maybe if you're a Jets fan, you're excited about Nathaniel Hackett, but you can go fuck yourself if you are. It doesn't. I didn't mean to come out of the bottom. I'm happy for you. You probably are happy that you got Nathaniel Hackett, and now maybe you'll be able to bring over Aaron Rodgers, who will come and bitch and complain and get you to like the middle level of the AFC, and you'll never win a championship, and that's it. If you're looking for a guy,
they're not getting Rodgers, Steve. They're getting Jimmy G.
Well,
Saleh's got that connection. He's going to go get Jimmy G to compete against Zach Wilson. And Nathaniel Hackett is such a joke of a hire. How does this guy still have a high-level job after the year he just had in Denver?
I'll tell you why. Because
of one quarterback
in particular. Well, one quarterback in particular has a very high regard for him. Speaks very highly of him. Thinks he's a genius. Would love to work with him in some capacity. And so, the Jets are hoping that they get Aaron Rodgers. This is not a move to get.
They're not, though. They're not getting Aaron Rodgers. He's going to Vegas.
They made a move to try to get Aaron Rodgers. It makes sense to me. It's an overture. So, look, it is what it is. I don't give a fuck, dude. I'm depressed. Okay? And you should be depressed, too.
Well, I'm furious. You should be depressed. It sucks. I'm furious.
I'm not depressed in the sense of like, fuck, we fucked up. Like, we really put up a shit stink bomb in the last game of the year. And that sucks. No matter what it is, whether it's the Super Bowl, the playoffs, whether you were fucking 1-15, it really sucks to go out like that. But, of course, overall, I'm thrilled with what happened. I'm thrilled with where we got. And I feel like the future is bright for us. And we know what we know what we do need to do to improve. That being said, it was a real, like, oh, man, let the air out of the tires last week. It was like, I was so excited going into that game that, like, I hadn't felt that way in a long time about any sort of sporting event. Even the Yankees, it's like they've been winning and they make the playoffs and stuff, but I hadn't felt that way about like the Giants or even, anything football related in a while. And I was like, damn, we made ribs. I smoked ribs, mac and cheese. There was one point, I think we talked about it, that I was going to thought about going to the game.
Mm-hmm.
But Simone talked us out of that. Thank goodness. It was like, that's probably not the best idea.
A good friend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's like, best case scenario, what happened? They blow the Giants out and you get to leave with your life. So that made sense. So I was like, well, we'll do something special anyway. So we all got together. We put our jerseys on and like men, and we drank beer and ate rib. Well, I drank beer. The boys just, they ate ribs and mac and cheese. And at no point did we ever even cheer. There was never a cheer. There was never like a, here we go. Let's go. Come on. None of that. Never even happened. It was really like just a punch after punch after punch. 21-0, and we weren't even out of the first quarter. I was like, this might be a long day. And I'm going, well, you know what? Look, even at one point, Jackson turned to me and goes, look, Jacksonville was down 21-0. I was like, good point. I like that. Keep with that positive energy. And then at halftime, he's like, I had to wake up at 8 a.m. for wrestling, so I'm going to bed. I was like, okay, I get you, dude. I get you, bro. So, yeah. And he missed nothing. We got a touchdown, real quickie bullshit one. but never really got back in the game and never even. I mean, what was worse off was that we couldn't even like it was. We knew it was coming and we couldn't stop it. That was pretty bad. They
Yeah.
ran that run pass option 100 fucking times down our throat. I think I saw some sort of stat that they ran it in the 3 games against us like over like 70 times the same play for like something like 48,000 yards. Something ridiculous. Like it was like the same play, just we did not figure out how to do it. So, they need some linebackers. They need a little middle of the range defensive help, but everything's going to be okay in the long run. And, I'm happy that we found a coach. We got a coach and what I believe a quarterback that the coach believes in. And so I'm good to go with that. They said they're going to, pay Danny Dimes and have to franchise Saquon because he wants 16 million, I think. He wants the McCaffrey money. He's not trying to reset the market, but he wants that money. I don't think they'll get there. I think they'll probably say like, hey, we'll give you 3 years, 40 million or something like that, or 45 million or something like close to that, 42. And if they don't like that, then they'll franchise tag him because I think they'll understand they can get a deal done with Daniel Jones.
Mm-hmm.
But they got to get a deal done with Saquon first. Because if they franchise tag Daniel Jones, well, then they have no leverage against Saquon. Because then they can't use the franchise tag on him. You know what I'm saying? So they're going to have to make a deal with Daniel Jones, which I think will be easier to do. Although I think he fucking guy wants $30 million a year, which is like, fuck, or maybe 40. But give me a break. You're not getting 40 million a year. But they'll get it done. So I'm happy with where they're going. And, the ribs were good. The ribs and the mac and cheese were good. I still have them. Because I thought it was going to be like, yeah, man. I made like 2 racks of ribs. Like we eat like half a rack or like 3/4 of a rack to a rack before the game. And then halftime, we're like celebrating, and you get that second win after the 3rd or 4th beer, and you eat another couple of ribs. And at the end of the night, you're like, "Fuck yeah, close game! Holy shit! I'm gonna have a little couple more." But no, I still have ribs left because it was like we ate the ribs before the game, and then it was like we got punched in the face. So, What are you gonna do though? Again, dude,
You had a good
with the
year.
houses. We had a great year, and the ribs were good.
See, but
So-
this is why I don't eat during Bills games because of
Okay.
that reason. My stomach
Why?
can't handle it. My stomach and my head are in 2 different places.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I either have to eat usually a little bit before, but mostly a lot after.
Yep. Like to
'Cause
where? Yeah.
it's a workout.
What did you eat after this week's horrendous disaster?
Deep dish pizza, baby.
Yeah, bro, you got to bury your sorrows.
And
You gotta-
I was thinking at least I don't have to care anymore. I don't have to care about
Well-
football the rest of the year.
You will. I mean, not in the same way. You won't care like, would live or die or get stomach cramps by it. You still will have, you'll care about what, we'll try to win money and who, vengeance. Vengeance always plays a good part. Like, you guys really don't want to see the Bengals win this week, do you?
I kind of do. I don't want to see the Chiefs win.
I
You know-
was kind of pulling for the Bengals, and then Eli Apple had to get on Twitter and act like a jackass.
Oh, Eli Apple.
So, I mean, of all the people to be talking shit from that team, he's the last guy that deserves to have any say in anything.
I know.
But he's
He's a lucky
talking
motherfucker.
bad shit, and it's
Can't
hard
quit.
for me to root for that team now. As much
case
as I
you don't know
want to
what
see
we're
a
talking
team that's never won a Super Bowl win, it'd be nice to see them win, but not with that guy.
Eli Apple tweeted Cancun on 3 with the DeMar Hamlin 3, and then the little DeMar Hamlin heart thing after that. A little distasteful, maybe. Funny? Yeah. It was kind of funny. It does. I mean, it's not it made me laugh a little bit. I'm like, that's kind of like this guy, as much as I wish it came from a different person because I really don't like him at all. as a Giants fan, and he wasted our time, waste of a pick. But
Mhm.
I thought, yeah, that's kind of funny. Like, because I look, and I'll tell you why it's funny. Because DeMar Hamlin's getting really healthy and becoming stronger every day, and that's why it's healthy. But I mean, funny to me. But
Well, not
yeah,
according
I'm
to not according to QAnon.
Yeah, you check the deep web.
Yeah,
what?
they all say that Damar Hamlin died, and the NFL is covering it up because they don't want to ruin the Super Bowl, and that's why when he was shown on camera at the game, it was all through a snow-covered thing, and you couldn't tell it was him, and
Yeah.
he hasn't made any public appearances, and he was in the news every second of the day, and now it's just nothing. So
He,
you ask the right person, and they're going to tell you, oh, he's dead. He's not healthy.
he
Wait a
showed up to
minute.
the stadium in the
This
Pope
is
Mobile.
Steve. This is why you need to still be on Twitter.
Yeah.
According to them, they've been weekend at Bernie's. This guy into the locker room, into team meetings, at the game. Like he died.
And
He
by the
died
way,
3 weeks ago.
who are you to say that's not true? You know, I'm sorry, dude, but you couldn't get one shot of DeMar Hamlin on the way into the stadium, like shaking hands with Roger Goodell or like
It's a little weird.
hugging a little child.
Little
Like you
weird.
did. I mean, and yeah, I'll be honest, where was I when I watched that Bills game in the snow? It was like, wait, I was home. Wait, where was I on? It was Sunday. The Bills game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Jackson Jonah had a basketball game that ended like right around kickoff. So when I got home and they were showing DeMar, I was like, damn, you can't even tell who that is. I thought it was like Richard Sherman. I didn't know who
Say
they
it
were showing.
louder with that red hat on.
Look, dude, make America great again. No,
Tamar's
I,
not dead.
I okay.
He's not
I think
dead.
this is great. I think this is great. Not that DeMar Hamlin that people think DeMar Hamlin's actually dead and they're covering it up, but yeah, there is something to be said where you're like, why aren't they showing it? Like, you haven't done an interview yet. You haven't like anything that's not been DeMar Hamlin putting it out. So yeah, I guess QAnon may have gotten it right this time.
Yeah, just check Aubrey Huff's Twitter, Steve.
No.
You know he's a
Wait.
the
Oh,
old
I'm
baseball
sorry.
player.
I thought you meant Aubrey Plaza. I was like,
No.
wow. I'm
Maybe
like,
she is
This
too.
is how deep it
yeah.
goes.
My first thought was Aubrey Plaza's got time to get into QAnon. I'm like, she's wildly talented, very hot, just hosted SNL, and sort of on a career high. I didn't think she'd really take a chance to get into QAnon and conspiracies, but more power to her. And by power, I mean white power. Come on. Look, guys, this episode's never going to air. Just we've said almost every trigger word you could possibly say to get banned on the internet. For the sloppiest pod, we sure do the tidiest cleanup when it comes to fucking getting ourselves kicked off this thing. Look, dude, I don't know if that's. I think that's awesome. I think that I love when people are like, yeah, everyone thinks this is great, but I don't believe it. So you need that, and I'm happy. This is a good QAnon one. This is one that I can get on board with. Not what I'm saying I support, but one that I don't think is going to really hurt anyone. Unless DeMar Hamlin's really dead.
Which he isn't.
But the Bills played like they were dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I will say this. If anyone could pull off this sort of conspiracy, it's the NFL. The NBA would never get there's too many the NBA would never get away with this. The NBA is too leaky. It's like a Swiss cheese. There will be leaks. And it's more of a player-driven, sport. And the NHL has no interest. And baseball probably couldn't cover up a murder death. Maybe.
They couldn't
You know what
cover
baseball
up
would
trash
do?
cans. They're not going to cover up a murder.
Baseball would just tell you, what you guys all saw was wrong, and we don't know what you're talking about. And you want to put an asterisk next to it, great, but we're moving on. And the past is the past, and that's it. That's what baseball would do. It's be like, you know what, dude? Whatever you think you saw, that's good for you. But we're continuing to play this fucking sport that we love, That's the national pastime, and if you don't love it, well, then get the fuck out of this country. Like that's what baseball would do. But the NFL, out of all the institutions of sport, I mean, FIFA probably for sure would have done this, but FIFA probably paid FIFA to come up with the plan on how to get the wag the dog on this thing.
Mhm.
For FIFA's getting a consulting fee if this QAnon thing is true. But it is a wild theory, and if so, it backfired for the Bills. I mean, I thought that was the move, but I really honestly like the move. I missed the beginning of the game. The move would have been to bring him out. Like, could he not get on? Like, could he not walk on the field because it was snowing?
He's
Like, what was
supposedly still on oxygen, and they're like tracking his heart rate. Like he's still
Yeah, but
connected to
still,
stuff.
like, ready, connect to the ready. No, I don't think anybody would have been like,
It
oh
might be a
no.
lot for him. It might be a lot for him still. I mean, the guy died twice, and they brought him back twice, and there's still a long road to recovery. So he can't just be walking around in sub-zero temperatures with the wind blowing and the snow falling. Like,
Well, you blew it as an opportunity to really capitalize on the momentum he would bring. I mean, that's a big momentum bringer, dude. I know the snow and everything is fun. It's a big playoff game, but you could have used him because I got to say, they came out flat as fuck, the Bills. Flat. They look like the Bills from the Houston Texans playoff game that we watched together on your 950-inch television right after you became a millionaire.
the one that we should have won, but we had the referee in all black come out and change the rules of the game.
Oh,
Is that the
Jesus
game you're
Christ.
talking about?
I mean, God, I mean, I don't want to go back and relitigate fucking games from 3 years ago. But what I'm saying is, and I know they looked bad.
Yeah.
And it was self-inflicted.
Yes.
And I don't know what it was. Was it? I mean, do you have any? I'll let you guys because to me, I'm like, I think they should have come in like, if it was going to be a problem in the beginning, I thought they would have like too much hype, too much adrenaline, trying too hard. It almost seemed like the opposite of that, which is what I did not expect at all. What do you got? What was going through your mind? How did you feel about it? And at what point were you like, fuck, we are fucked? Because I know there was a point.
Go ahead, Lucas.
Well, the Bengals are that good. Joe Burrow is
They
a
are.
straight coach's kid. You have to pressure him, and if you don't, he'll eat you apart. I just, like, after the second, probably midway through the second quarter, I just kind of lost hope that defense could stop him. And I knew that, Buffalo would have to catch up. And also, I feel like Brent, I don't. Allen has such a unique package that they don't really utilize or didn't, where he can do the RPO. He can bootleg and that kind of shit, and they expected him to win the game, and that's a lot of pressure for him.
So I knew it was over after the first drive. There are colossal issues with our coaching, who have now, for 3 straight playoffs, been completely outcoached in a game and made 0 adjustments. We were one of 8 teams left. We were the only team with a coach that had a defensive background, and it was once again the defense that collapsed and lost us the game. Leslie Frazier had us in a nickel package 90% of the time. Granted, he's playing with a backup corner. He's playing with a 4th string safety, but we got 0 pressure. So just the fact that we got no pressure with 3 backup offensive linemen on the Bengals side, I knew right away we're in trouble. But we're playing off of these guys, and they're giving up 7-8 yard passes every play. And he made no adjustments. We did not press cover once that entire game. Not one time did Jamar Chase have a guy come up to the line and push him.
Yeah.
He was allowed.
And I'm talking about like, I'm sorry to interrupt, like 3rd and 3s and stuff like that, where you're like, oh, all he has to do is just run a quick slant and he's right there.
Off the ball. I took a picture of it. I'll post it on the Instagram. It's 3rd and 4, right? If they can get a
really
stop and hold them
surprised
to a field goal, then maybe they still have a chance and they're in this game. It's 3rd and 4. They got 7 guys bunched up, bringing pressure. Burrow knows that. They're not even disguising the pressure. So Burrow can go, okay, I need my hot route. So maybe we need to make it. Oh, we don't need to make adjustments because White is one-on-one with Chase and he's 10 yards off the ball. All I got to do is throw it right to Chase and he's twice his size and just fall forward for 5 yards. And that's all they did.
Yes, it
No
made no sense to
adjustments.
give them up. Like they gave up for like it was like they were willing to give up first downs
Yes.
just to live. Like they were so afraid of getting beat deep. Like I think that they just were like, we'll give up. It was almost prevent defense the entire game,
It was absolutely
and
the whole
like
game, and he didn't change a thing, which is so frustrating. And that's why, like, I'm just confused. The whole national media is talking about the Cowboys, the Cowboys. Everyone hates Dak and everyone hates McCarthy, and they suck. But it's like, why is no one talking about how bad Buffalo was, how bad their
oh,
coaching
because
was?
dude,
We
I'll tell you
are.
why. You guys are like our treasure right now. Nobody wants to say anything bad about Buffalo, dude.
It's so stupid.
Nobody.
We
I
Steve, if you told me at the start of the season that the Bills would be Super Bowl champs, and then I told you I've come from the future, and not only are they not Super Bowl champs, they only finished as far as the Cowboys, the Giants, and the Jags, you would say, wow, that's a horrible failure of a season, would you not?
probably yes.
That's what happened. And yet, no
Yeah.
criticism. And then if you look, so defense, I mean, fire Frazier, get him out. He's failed us. 13-second game last year. The Chiefs blowout the year before, and now this Bengals blowout. Get rid of Leslie Frazier. You have to get rid of somebody. All they did was fire the safeties coach, which is a joke because they were out Hyde the whole season. They were out Poyer for part of the season. They lost Hamlin. They were down to practice squad guys, and you're going to fire that dude? Like that fixes anything? Fire Leslie Frazier. If you go to the offensive side of the ball, Josh Allen has not played good for most of the season. And it's shocking if you take away his rushing yard totals for the last like 12 weeks of the year. Guess which quarterback he has stats closest to? If you had to guess, which quarterback has Josh played the most similar to throwing the ball?
I mean, I know it's going to be someone bad, so let me say like Russell Wilson,
I wish.
Zach Wilson.
Tua.
Davis Mills. Davis Mills has slightly better passing stats through the last part of the season than Josh Allen did. But that's also part of the problem is Ken Dorsey took over this offense. He kept basically the same playbook, and he refused to make adjustments. Every series, it was 2-yard run for Singletary, 7-yard slant that probably would be dropped, and then a 35-yard pass to Diggs. That was the whole
That's what I
offensive
yes.
game plan. And
My other note I had of the game was that was the defensive one that they just seemed to be willing to give up third down and short every time, and also offensively, exactly. It was like it seemed like I feel like I look at the Bills and I say, if I'm the Bills and you have a quarterback that can run and throw like that, I'm going, how is this guy? How are we not getting 10, 8 yards a down? You know what I'm saying? Like it seemed like they were like, 2 yards, incomplete, 30 yards. He runs out of the pocket. Someone gets open and he puts the ball where no one else can. Boom. 30 yards. And now you're moved down the field. But then it's like another incomplete, another rush for 2 yards. Now he's got to scramble for a 3rd and 8 and barely get, that's how it seemed to be. It was never like consistent at all. It never had a flow. It never seemed like they were just consistently moving the chains rather than just like trying to get to the chain and then just fucking launching one deep and hoping that it's going to work out. But I don't know how the community and everything. You asked before, like, how do they not? Because nobody really wants to criticize the Bills at all. Because number one, they're a good team, better than most of the other teams in the league. And number two is, the city of Buffalo and/or has been through a lot. Now, I'm sure Buffalo radio is fucking destroying them. The real fans are probably wondering what's
it's been
wrong.
pretty tepid, honestly. It's not like in Dallas where they're acting like they should have won the Super Bowl. Like, Dallas got beat by a better team. Dallas had opportunities. Purdy definitely made mistakes, and the Cowboys didn't capitalize, and that game could have very well gone the other way. But no one really believes that Dallas was the best team of the 4 teams that were left in the NFC.
No, but they certainly didn't. If you ask Dallas fans, they certainly did. They thought maybe, the defense, the secondary might give up, some fucking plays deep on some complicated, Kyle Shanahan drops. But nobody thought it was going to be Dak that was going to hand it over to the other team, and it really kind of was. you know?
And part of that could have been because their game plan went to shit when Tony Pollard broke his leg.
Yeah. And
It's pretty
Ezekiel
early in the
Elliott can't run
game.
the ball anymore.
Yeah, he's too old. I mean, he's a running back with a knee brace on. You can't have a knee brace and make cuts and be as fast as anyone else. Like you paid an old guy with bad knees. So you got to live with it. You got to figure something else out. But, you know, I think if we went back and listened to the first episode before week 1, I was so excited about the upgrades they made to be able to run the ball this year. And Ken Dorsey did not change a damn thing with the offense. And not only did we not run the ball, he just basically, the whole game plan was, Josh, go out there and make a play that no one's ever seen before. And you can't live on that. Eventually, you're going to play a team that's really good and they're going to beat you. And that's what happened. I mean, hopefully next year we adjust. I think Singletary's gone. James Cook becomes a guy and becomes a really good running back, but they need to invest in the offensive line. They got to protect Josh. He had no protection. I mean, the way that the Bengals were able to pressure him is how the Bills should have been able to pressure Burrow with all those backups in. So we got to get protection for Josh. Pro Football Focus ranked all the Bills offensive linemen. The scale goes to 100. Deion Dawkins was the highest at 73.9. Everyone else on that line was under 60. So they've done nothing to really help him out since he got drafted. They've invested everything on the defensive line and in the secondary, and that is not working. We got to figure out a lot. And if I'm Paguglia, I'm bringing Josh into a room. I'm shutting the door. I'm going, hey, man, we know we're in our Super Bowl window. We have a few years left. We could realistically win. What do you need? Like, do you want McDermott out? Is the whole message of humble and hungry, is that working still, or is that kind of old and it's not? What do you need from us in order to get us to that next level and get by Cincinnati and get by Kansas City and actually go to the Super Bowl? And they need to have that conversation. If that means McDermott should be fired, then fire him. Build the team around Josh. Nothing else matters. I have no loyalty to any of these guys. I just want to see them win once. And if these guys are not going to make the adjustments necessary, then get rid of them.
It is a, I guess, yeah, it's sort of a new level of depression when your team is good. You feel like they are good enough. They have the pieces, and it's still not working out. You know, that's another, you know, every sort of level, it's like, oh, our team sucks and we're never going to be good. That's fucking terrible. And then, you know, you get good and you're like, well, we're still missing a ton of pieces. Then you have the pieces. Now you're like, well, why aren't we getting there? It's like, fuck. I don't know exactly what it is that is it Joe Burrow? Is it the pieces that he has around him? Is it the fact that, I mean, because look, the offensive line, everything you thought last week, the offensive line being decimated, they didn't really get to him at all. Now, I don't know if that's, I mean, Von Miller was a big loss, and it's probably bigger than everyone thought it was going to be, and people try to downplay it, but it was a big to try to get to the quarterback. He was a good pressure end that could at least get there if he needed to put someone on their back. But Joe Burrow seemed to be fine, and I'm like, I don't know if he's got more. I mean, he's got a couple more weapons, I think, than Buffalo, but you know, are they that much better than you guys? Like, I don't see like the gap being that
they
wide.
out-coached us, and it wasn't even close. They had a perfect game plan. They knew how to beat us, and they did exactly that. The only way we could have beaten them is if we had run the ball and kept Burrow off the field, and we chose not to. And Josh is also partly to blame. He had plenty of opportunities where there were lanes open that he could have took off running, and instead he tried to force the ball down the field, and it didn't work.
Yeah. Well, back to the drawing board, fellas.
Yeah.
That's how it works. Only one of these fucking cunts is going to be happy at the end of the year.
Yeah, but congrats to Cincinnati. They played great. They deserved that win. It was never in doubt.
And you're not. And again, are you rooting for them or against them this week? I'm not asking you.
This is how I am as a Buffalo fan. I don't give a shit. I don't care.
You don't.
I really don't
I
care.
don't care.
If Cincinnati wins, I'm happy. I have a lot of friends who are in Ohio and are Bengals fans, but also if Eli Apple loses, ha 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 ha, I don't care.
Yeah.
But
Everything in
it's
me want.
interesting. It's interesting though if you look at the so the Mahomes injury, the high ankle sprain, the line has moved dramatically since he's been practicing the last 3 days completely fine and looks, he looks normal. He looks 100%. So the Bengals actually opened as favorites on the road, and now they are dogs. So if we'd recorded this on Monday, we would have gotten a much different line for that game.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think the fact that he's showing himself to be pretty healthy is a good sign for them. And of course, it's going to close the gap on this is a pretty closed gap game to begin with, as both games. I don't know what the line for the San Francisco game is, but I think this game's going to be one of those one possession who's got the ball at the end sort of
Yeah.
situations.
They're
Who's
both within 3 points, both games. Got 49ers are plus 2.5, and you got the Bengals plus 1.5 right now on DraftKings.
It really will come down to, because it's not like, oh, which quarterback can step it up and win the game. It's which defense can stop. We know both quarterbacks, all things equal, will do whatever they want to the other team's defense.
Yes.
Which team's defense at the end will go, no, they're not going to do it to us. They give a huge 3 and out with like a minute and a half left in the game. Something like that. Something that turns it around, gives the ball back to their offense to make something happen. That's what it's going to come down to, I think, because I think both these quarterbacks will do, if they're healthy, and I assume Mahomes is becoming healthier, they'll have their way. I watched like Travis. No one's stopping Travis Kelce. They come up. Andy Reid comes up with schemes that gets him remotely open. It's like that's a 15-yard gain at minimum. That's where he catches the ball. And then he tumbles forward, hopefully 5 yards, but sometimes 30, 40, 50 yards further. So, that's unstoppable. That's never been stopped. No one stopped it. No one can stop it. And so you have that at your disposal. And Joe Burrow, like you said, it's a fucking babyface assassin who's just calm, cool, and will, intellectually rip you apart. So there you have it. It's like, what are you going to do? Which defense is going to go, we got to fucking finally put an end to this shit? And then, of course, barring any injury or surprises or any of that stuff, but it'll be a one possession game.
Yeah.
Within 3, I mean, not even a touchdown, like a field goal. And I think that's how it goes again. I don't think it's really anything to be said like 3 times in a row. Cincinnati, I guess you can kind of say that.
That doesn't really matter. That's like saying
I think
Trevor
it only
Lawrence has
proves
never
that,
lost
like,
on Saturday.
yeah,
It doesn't matter.
I think the only thing it proves is that they're not scared going in there.
Yeah.
At all. There's no like, oh, Kansas City home field. How are they gonna, manage the clock with the, the sound and everything? Like there's nothing. There's none of that.
Mm-hmm.
They might as well be playing on a fucking third party site.
You've heard the whole Burrowhead Stadium slang, right?
Burrowhead.
The Bengals are calling Arrowhead Burrowhead this weekend.
No, really? Why?
Yeah.
Win the Super Bowl first, and then call it Burrowhead.
If he does win this weekend, a big part of me thinks that he might retire with more rings than Brady.
No.
It's his second year. He took the Cincinnati Bengals to a fucking Super Bowl.
I think it's going to be Mahomes that we're talking about having more rings than Brady.
Well,
as long as Andy Reid and him stay together, he's already accomplished more in a very short amount of time than most quarterbacks do in their career.
Can I ask a question? Okay. Number one, I think you're both right. I think both of them. But Andy Reid's one cheeseburger away from no longer walking on the planet Earth.
Yes,
so
that's why their window
Zach
is
Taylor's
going to
be around,
but it is a smaller. It's not an unlimited window. But yes,
I also think he has to win the Super Bowl this year. To your point, Lucas, he can't just win this game and get to the Super Bowl again. He's got to win it this year, and then it's like, well, and then you're like, all right, 2 out of this is his third year, right?
Third season,
his third
but the guy tore his ACL, so is he going to play for 20 years like Brady to get to that point? I don't know.
I mean, look, you never know. You never know what drives
Yeah.
people, but it seems like this guy likes to win.
He
So, we'll
does.
see how
He
long that
does.
lasts for.
Yes.
That's a good bet to figure out who's going to have more Super Bowls at the end.
Well,
We'll,
Mahomes
we'll,
already
we'll
has a head start, so
I know, but I mean, like, the other
and
kid's
it's
2
a
weeks
team
away from.
game. It's not just because you have Joe Burrow doesn't mean that you have a GM that puts together a good team and you have a coach that puts together a good game plan. Joe Burrow is
Absolutely,
a
but
winner, but put him
Joe
in another
Burrow's proven.
situation, is he still going to win games? Put him
Yeah,
on a
you mean
different
like
team. Put him in Vegas.
different? Yeah, put him in Vegas where he'd have. Last week they put him on a team with 3 brand new offensive linemen, and he seemed to do pretty well against
Yeah.
the best teams in the
With
world.
a great coach and a very good game plan.
Yeah, well, where's Zach Taylor going? Is he dying?
I'm just saying, you don't know how long that relationship is going to last. Brady benefited from Belichick for
I think
most of his career, and then he jumped ship to a situation with an incredible defense and another very good coach and offensive weapons, and he brought Gronk with him. So you take some of that stuff away and look at what happened to Brady this year.
Yeah, well, I don't see anyone going anywhere, and not especially if they're winning. So
But
winning
money
solves
becomes an
everything.
issue. They win, and now everyone wants more money. That's why Brady was great, was he never took a pay raise. He said, I just
Well,
want to win.
how do you
So
know
when they have to pay, let's see how much money Joe Burrow wants after his rookie contract's up, which is in what,
Oh,
2
this
years?
year?
Oh, it's all
Brandon
this
Bean
year?
got in trouble. You saw what Brandon Bean said, right? About Jamar. He said he in his season-ending press conference, he said the Bills haven't sucked bad enough that they needed Jamar Chase. Pretty much saying that
Yeah.
contract-wise, the Bengals benefit right now because they have so many high draft picks under rookie contracts that they
Yeah.
will have to pay all them.
Yes.
Yeah, and their owner is fucking cheap as fuck. So
Mhm.
it's over. They lost. No,
That's
let's
why.
pick.
That's why I like Mahomes. If we're making that bet, he is still to me the best quarterback in football, and he's doing stuff that no one's ever done before.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Give me Burrow, maybe.
I mean, we'll
Yeah.
see. We'll see at the end of this game. But let's talk about this weekend then. Let's do the picks then, because I have a strong feeling about the 49er game, but I have let's continue on with the Bengals and the Chiefs. What's the line on it that you have?
I've got I'm
phone,
looking on DraftKings, but let me pull up BetDSI. But
Let me see if I can get my DraftKings.
DraftKings has shifted about 3 points throughout the week, and now the Chiefs are -1.5.
That's not the fantasy. That's fantasy. Oh, I need the sports book, idiot. Fucking idiot.
By the way, that over under a 48, the last 5 times they've played, 3 times have been well over 50, and the 4th and 5th time were both over 60. I think the highest was around 65 or 66. So if you're going to parlay that game, not a bad bet to take the over, especially with Mahomes seemingly being healthy. But I mean, dude, even when Chad Henne came in last week, he looked solid. He ran that offense really well. They drove down the field and scored
90 yards.
Mhm.
I got the Chiefs as a 1.5 point dog.
Where are you looking?
No, favorite. Sorry, favorite. My fault.
Yeah. If you're on DraftKings, they have them as a 1.5. I'm pulling BetDSI up right now, and they also have the Chiefs -1.5 with a 48 over under.
So, yeah, this game is like I'm bouncing back and forth, and it's like I'm trying to figure out. Like I said before, in my mind, I'm trying to play the game out. Which team is going to have the ball at the end, and which defense is going to make a stop. And I just feel like this year, contrary to what I believe and just said before, I think the Chiefs win the game this year. I think their defense steps up and stops Joe Burrow.
We will know on the very first time the Bengals have the ball if the Chiefs are going to win, and it's going to come down to, do they get pressure on Burrow?
Well, I wouldn't call it right then, Brenton.
I would call it
then.
And we didn't have Von Miller, but the Chiefs have Jones. And if Jones can get to him, then the Chiefs are going to win this game. And then the Chiefs need to run the ball, which I think you're going to see them do. Andy Reid is smarter than Ken Dorsey, and he's going to run the ball. That's how you beat the Bengals. Especially with Mahomes not 100%. You don't want him having to make those plays. Run the ball. So I like the Chiefs as well. I think I'd take the Chiefs with the -1.5.
What about you, Lucas? How you feeling?
I think it comes down to a point. I don't know.
So should I bias off that hook?
I don't
No.
like points in the playoffs. I like to pick the winners. I like money
Okay.
line bets. Tell me who's going to win. Tell me who's going to lose. These games are so fucking tight and crazy. I don't want to pick the winner, which is hard enough to fucking do in the playoffs, and then lose by a cunt hair half point or tie because you bought a point. I want to pick a winner. So
Who's winning, Lucas?
Dude, I can't bet against Burrow. I can't.
wow.
The guy's
So
a
we're
winner.
split. We're
Well,
split.
No. It's I'm outvoted. It's 2-1. I can.
It's
As
your
you said,
money,
Brenton,
though. We're trying to win you money.
Yeah,
I know, but I
but
could still
if
be
you win me
convinced to go
money,
the other
then
way.
yeah.
I could.
You're.
Oh man.
I don't want to bet against Burrow, especially if there's any chance Mahomes' ankle is not 100%. But you're right. If they do run it with Pacheco and all those, that's their recipe to win.
They've got the home
We'll see if
crowd
they
behind
do.
them. I think they can be the team that will get pressure on Burrow this week with that offensive line, which already ruled everybody out again. So it's going to be the backups again. I think the
Stevie
Chiefs,
Spagnuolo,
the
come
Chiefs
on.
have a lot of firepower, and they may get Nicole Hardman back on top of that. And Travis Kelce could break Gronk's playoff receiving yards record this week, so he's going to be extra motivated. And they know as well as everybody that we've lost to this team 3 times in a row, and they do not want to lose a 4th time.
That's
why it's hard for me to get off. I can see how the Bengals can win this game, definitely, but it's hard
Me
for me to
too.
get off Kansas City.
I could easily pick. Same thing. I'm like, I could easily be wrong, and I would be like, oh, that makes perfect sense that I was wrong. But you got to pick one team, and I just feel like I don't think they can do it 4 times in a row.
No,
I think they can. And I got to stay true to my Mahomes Burrow bet. So we take the Chiefs, but personally, I'm going to say I'm not going to bet against Burrow.
Here's what I'll say.
Lucas, get your side bet going.
If Burrow wins and then wins the Super Bowl, I am 100% taking Burrow in the longevity challenge.
Yeah.
Who comes second place to Brady?
Fair. You're gonna jump on board after he gets a trophy.
Yeah,
you gotta make it now. You gotta call it now because one of them is pretty likely to get a ring this year. So you gotta make right now. You can't wait. You don't get to stand on the sidelines and then join the winning team.
Here's what I'm saying, dum-dum. I think Patrick Mahomes wins this game, but I don't think he wins the Super Bowl this year. I think if the Bengals win, they're going to win the Super Bowl, and then we're off to the races, 1-1. So, I'm not 100% sold that the Chiefs are going to win the Super Bowl if they win this game. We have to see how they come out of it. But if that means I have to pick one right now, I guess I'll pick Patrick Mahomes until I change after they lose this week.
Thank you.
Which they won't because I'm taking the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
But, let me hold on. Because we only have 2 bets to make.
I like the money line bet too. I agree with that in the playoffs.
We'll take them on the money line. Do you want to take the over? Do you want to touch the over-unders?
Well, we should do more than one thing, right?
I can even buy them down. I can buy us down to 46 points.
Don't buy anything, dude. I don't like that.
It makes it a safer bet.
It doesn't. I don't like it. You're messing with our money.
It doesn't. What are you talking about? Of course it makes it a safer bet.
I got it at 48 over under.
Yeah, and I can buy us down to 46.
But it's going this way.
Bets.
It's going north, dude. So that means they know where the money's going. They're trying to move the line, dude. We're wrong. We're going in the wrong way.
There's no weather factor, is there? Brenton would know.
Who knows?
I don't believe so. And
Okay.
both of these teams, unless it's windy, it's not going to affect anything except the downfield passing game, which neither really does. They're very much hot routes and slants and quick passes and running. So I think
Omaha.
doesn't matter.
Omaha.
Doesn't matter.
All right, hold on. Before we let's see if we have any, because we don't need a huge amount of. We don't make bets just to make them. Let's talk about the Eagles and the Niners, and then we'll see if there's something there that, like, after we pick the winner, gets our pussies wet. For
By the way,
another bet.
as of 32 minutes ago, Mahomes is off the injury report. He does not have an injury designation going into this game. So he is good to go.
They must have fucking shot that thing full of, like, horse tranquilizers or something,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah, why don't they
Yeah,
make
that's
that commercial for State Farm?
Hey, it's me, Patrick Mahomes, for State Farm. Can you shoot my leg up with a horse ketamine?
That's the jazz bath I want to see.
Also, can I get the Patrick rate? What is that? What is it's these State Farm commercials? Hey, Jake,
Yeah.
man, it's Patrick Mahomes. Can you shoot my leg with horse tranquilizer?
But Patrick,
All right.
everybody gets the Patrick right.
We're all getting Valium.
Sure they do, man. I want that special stuff, the one that killed Len Bias. Shoot that stuff into my leg.
But yeah, it doesn't seem like
oh,
weather's going to
fuck.
be a factor, and Mahomes appears to be good to go.
Same with Philly. No weather.
Oh no weather here this weekend.
No.
Okay.
Lucas, you're the closest one. Look out the window.
Oh yeah. All right. It's
You're
like
like
40
You're like 2 hours away.
and I'm so stupid though. I didn't know how close Baltimore and DC were. But they're
Oh, yeah, you can
literally
fly in either one, like 40 minutes away from each other. Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah.
It's the public
My
education.
sister-in-law lives like 15 minutes from where you are right now, Lucas.
Oh yeah.
Yep, Tracy's sister
Is it-
lives in Townsend,
Okay.
Maryland.
A good sister you like?
Oh, she's great. They're both
All
great,
right.
but she's
All right.
she's the better one. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, it's a real dreary place, the East Coast, in this fucking winter. I mean, I'm staring at a fucking Dick's Sporting Goods. This is a funny bone I'm doing this weekend at the Cross Gates Mall. It's like one of those big malls and with the fucking funny bone in it. So we're at it this weekend. So I've got a lot of mall people, a lot of mall folk coming this weekend. And I'm sure you're dealing with the same thing. By the way, if you're around the Albany area, come on down. Check out fucking my show. 1 tonight, 2 tomorrow. Tonight, you're not going to get it. How are you getting this podcast 1.5 hours, 2 hours before tonight's show? In what world? You're never going to make tonight's show.
No.
But I did great. For as far as you know, I did fucking awesome. But yeah, I'm in Albany around this weekend, and then next weekend I'm in Huntsville, Alabama, and then the weekend after that, the Super Bowl, Phoenix, Copper Blues live with Court McCowan, and then the weekend after that, I don't know where I am after that. Oh, a weekend after that, we got double booked, dude. Just for Laughs may have double booked me, so I might not be able to go to Canada. But then I'm going to La Jolla the weekend after that. Tickets are at steverannazzisi.com for more information. But back to the bets, fellas. Come on. Jesus Christ. Stay on target here.
We got another game in the
49ers.
NFC.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. 49ers, Eagles. Much not like you. I do have vengeance. I don't want to see the Eagles win. I do love Steve Simone and a lot of my Philadelphia friends, but I don't want them to win. I don't want any NFC East team making it if we don't make it. That's the rule. It's us or no one. And so,
But is that going to cloud your judgment on breaking down this game and picking the actual winner?
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
I'm all for it, Steve. Keep going.
Here's why. Here's
not how you
why
bet, though.
think. I know, but here's what I think. Okay. I think that the 49ers will win the game, can win the game, will win the game. as long as Brock Purdy doesn't do exactly what he's done at one time every single game so far and has gotten away with it.
Yeah.
I literally thrown the ball into the hands of a linebacker on the other team. Both times that linebacker did not catch the ball and they escaped narrowly with. So if the Eagles are capable of catching the one Brock Purdy fuck up that will come.
He had 3 against the Cowboys. Don't forget, Trayvon Diggs had that one go right through the breadbasket that ended up turning into a touchdown later for the Niners. That was a magic play.
Yeah,
Did you
that
see
doesn't really count to me.
He also miraculously threw the ball out of bounds with a second left at halftime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah, I know. So there are rookie sort of things that go on there. I think he'll be able to navigate them, and I think they'll be able to win. And so I'm taking the 49ers.
Lucas,
Brent taking the Eagles.
Convincing? Convincing enough?
I'm not convinced at all. You didn't convince me with anything. All you said was I hate the Eagles, and I'm taking the 49ers.
Joey Bosa,
even though
you
broke down how Purdy has played whatever. He hasn't been great. He hasn't been terrible, but he hasn't been great. You broke down how he could make mistakes and lose the game, and then you're just like, so therefore 49ers.
No.
You didn't convince me in anything.
The Eagles' offensive line was very good against the Giants last week.
They were.
But
Jalen Hurts looked 100%. Jalen Hurts looked like the MVP that he was for the whole part of the year before he got hurt.
But the 49ers defensive line is a different animal, much better.
Yes.
Can get to the quarterback, even rushing 3 and 4 sometimes. And all it takes is one fucking Joey Bosa. You don't even have to sack Jalen Hurts. You just got to land on top of him. And you aggravate that show. Nobody's landed on top of him in a month and a half. So you got to land on top of him one time. I'm not saying you're fucking – this is not Bounty Gate. I'm just saying this thing will get tested more this week than it did last week. And we'll see if he's up to it and how he's feeling. If he's Jalen Hurts like last week where they just protect him, give him time to throw the ball, well, it could be a long day for the Niners. But if they get on him and they get pressure on him, and then he's got to scramble, which I don't really think Philly really wants him to scramble that much. Still, they would prefer him not to.
For him against the Giants, he was running the ball. I
think
they're fine with it. They know he's good to go.
Yeah,
I was nervous. I was nervous that he wouldn't be. And last week, what I saw was a guy who's completely healthy and he's back in the zone. Now, here's an interesting stat for you. I know the 49ers have the reputation of being this amazing defense, and they are, but it's the Eagles' defensive line that has the highest pressure rate on the quarterback on the year, 11.8%. Every 11.8% of all the quarterback dropbacks, the Eagles got a sack. The next closest was the Cowboys at around 8%. So now you have the Eagles at home in the conference championship against a rookie quarterback who looked very much like a rookie quarterback last week. He hasn't seen pressure like this before. He hasn't seen a defense that is this good. And the difference between the 49ers front line, which is incredible, and the Eagles front line, which is also incredible, is the Eagles have a much better secondary. And the 49ers' one weakness on defense is their corners and their safeties cannot cover. CeeDee Lamb had a huge game. Now they've got to cover A.J. Brown. If they blanket him, that leaves Devontae Smith open, Dallas Goedert open. I just think the Eagles have too much, and the 49ers, if Purdy makes one mistake, that's the game. You got a rookie that is he has handled it.
Well,
great,
not necessarily. If they capitalize on the one mistake,
more and more and more pressure. So I think the Eagles are playing.
Capitalize.
The Eagles are playing top level football again, and the 49ers, like the Chiefs, they have to run the ball to win this game, but McCaffrey is kind of banged up, and Elijah Mitchell has his history with injuries now. So I don't know. Neither one of them practiced on Wednesday, which means that the game plan is going to be we're going to run the ball. Because if they have to make Purdy throw, then they're not going to win the game. I would lean Eagles. I disagree with you. I think the Eagles win the game.
Lucas, how do you feel about it?
I don't want to bet against Purdy, but I'm gonna. Give me Philly. I like your logic though, Steve. I really respect the logic.
What was his logic? His logic was
His
Purdy
logic
sucks,
is if it's
therefore
not us,
49ers.
it's nobody else. And
That's not logic. That's
good
Yes, it
logic.
is.
fandom.
It's called vengeance. It's been a logic used by psychopaths for thousands of years.
Okay, well, in that case, you owe me an apology for shitting on Brady for the last 2 years of this podcast and saying that I'm an idiot when that was my whole reasoning. And
He
again,
did win a
if you
Super
had
Bowl
bet
though in a
against,
season you were
if
calling
you
him
had-
an idiot.
yeah,
only doing it one time.
his defense won. His defense won a Super Bowl. Let's be honest.
I'm not crazy like you, where I'm going to take out a fucking 2-year vengeance. I want one time, and if they win this week, then I'm definitely rooting against them in the Super Bowl. So I need 2 games of vengeance. That's it.
Okay.
I don't want anyone winning the Super Bowl from a fucking. I don't want to go and watch the Giants play Philly and they're like, oh, it's our ring day! Yay! Let's get our rings and all the Eagles fly. Oh, I don't want that. Who wants that in their life? Who wants to play the fucking team? You're gonna go play it, and the Giants will have to. Ooh, division rivals. They made it to the playoffs, and they're gonna have to play on that Thursday night game.
Well,
and
the good
Eagles
news is
fly.
I still think the AFC wins the Super Bowl. Whoever comes out of the NFC.
Well, you better make sure that's right. We're gonna fix that.
Yeah. But if you have it pulled up and you want to go ahead and take the 49ers, I'm going to take the Eagles on my end.
No, I'll take the
Lucas
fucking
to
Eagles.
actually
I'm a
win
man
some
of the
money.
fucking people. I'm the man of the people. I'm taking the Eagles like you guys want. Just those 2 bets I'm going to do, though. Right?
Oh, this is shit. We're just doubling our money, 50 to win 100.
No. All right,
Well,
take the
let's see.
49ers.
I got 50 to win 175. What are you talking
Well,
about?
that's because BetDSI has the shittiest lines and it's all I can use here. So make the bet on your end. I'm not giving them my money.
50 to 175. The Chiefs minus 1.5, the Eagles minus 2.5. Buckets.
Oh,
We're in.
I took them on the money line. You said money line.
Yeah,
But by the way,
money
can I
line.
just
You just said 1.5 and 2.5. Did you do the wrong bet?
Damn it.
Yeah.
I sweated it.
Oh, Steve.
You fucking idiot, Steve. Can I get my money back?
No, it's gone.
I want to cash out. Can I cash out?
As a shareholder of DraftKings, I say no, sir. That money is now mine.
You fucking bitch.
And I thank you
Well,
for your contribution.
Now we go heavy. Now we got to go. I got to root for the Eagles to win by 3 fucking points.
Yeah, it's
Holy
going to be a
shit.
bad Sunday for Steve.
I'm so fucking pissed
But-
already.
The Philly police just said that they've already begun greasing the light poles in anticipation of a victory on Sunday.
Yes.
Those
Grease the
fucking
pole.
barbarians.
And maybe put your horses back in the barn and just leave them locked up for a few weeks. You don't need horse shit on the streets. Don't tempt people.
I want to see a horse just ride into Wawa and start just, eating shit off the counters and stuff. That'll make it Philly wild.
But it's gonna be a good weekend of football. It's heartbreaking that Buffalo's not there. That was like watching a third grandmother slowly die last week. But they don't deserve to be there.
True that. Speaking of fantasy, we have a fantasy golf is back up and running, ladies and gentlemen. First week of my fantasy golf league is up. I'm doing pretty well so far. John Rahm, who barely made the cut, snuck in, is now in second place, I think, before we started the podcast. So getting back into it. They're playing the Farmers down in San Diego, Torrey Pines. So in this week, they're very smart. They play Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Nobody wants to compete with the NFC Championship and, the championship Sunday on Sunday. So we'll change in schedule, but Johnny Rahm doing well this weekend. Could be his 3rd straight start and win, and would net him close to $10 million in the first month of the year. Ooh, boy. January is a good month. So that's going on. And then next week they go to the LA or upstate. I don't know where they go, but yeah, it's fun. Back. It's I'm getting back on the daily fantasy stuff, and it's awesome. Golf is back. So that's it. And what else? Anything else you guys wanted to plug, talk about, discuss? I feel a duty coming on too, so like it has to be important. It would have to be like either really funny or like really topically important.
Well, I
Oh,
had a few.
Jesus Christ. What? What?
Just be thankful you're regular at your age, okay?
Who
I
says I'm
had a few
regular?
people. I had a few people. I'm just assuming, although ribs and mac and cheese is probably not the best for your digestive system.
No,
I had
Tracy's
some
worried about
people
my lymph nodes.
after we talked about. Yeah, Cassie keeps pointing out everything that's wrong with me. Now I have a gray hair apparently. But I had a few people reach out after I talked about the anytime touchdown bet and the first touchdown bet and how fucking dumb those bets are. And some guy apparently turned $5 into 72,000 last week. But for every one guy that happens to, a million of you are going to lose all your money. So don't do it. You're stupid. And there was a guy that tweeted he had his ticket and it came down to the last game. And he had McCaffrey as the first touchdown scorer. And if he had hit it, $5 would have been about 30,000 for him. So he was tweeting it like Barstool and Pat McAfee and all these guys like, what should I do? Should I take the cash out, which was 2,500, or do I let it ride? And I'm assuming the guy let it ride, and just take the money, you guys. Take easy money. Always take easy money. If you're going to bet, just take the easy money. You're not going to win $1 million. That shouldn't have happened to me. It was stupid that it happened. Just take the easy money.
Wow. What inspiring words from Brenton Biddlecombe going into the weekend. Don't strive for greatness. Be middle of the road.
Middle of
Take
the
easy
road pays your mortgage, okay?
There's nothing wrong with middle of the road. Right? How do we know where the edges were if we don't know where the middle was? Right, Brenton?
Exactly.
If you're in Timonium, Maryland, go see Lucas and Adam Ray this weekend at Magooby's Comedy Club. Brenton, you do any gigs this weekend?
Hollywood Improv Saturday night and Sunday night.
The old improv. Oh, Saturday and Sunday improv weekend for Brenton. Again, I'm at the Funny Bone in Albany, New York. Maybe you'll hear this on Saturday. So maybe Saturday, if you're here, come get.
Jake will get this out for us. Jake does a great job.
Smoke. All right. So that's it for us this week, guys. Tell someone we love you. Rate, subscribe, and now root for the spread. We got to get the spread now, guys, because somebody fucked up. All right. Talk to you guys later. Bye.
Go Bills.
Go Bills.
Thank you very much for joining me. How you been? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Steve Renazizi. I'm the guy